time plus emotions plus enough shit that's gone wrong, and that's the recipe the dumper needs to change their mind about you and to end your relationship. So today I'm going to discuss what goes through the dumper's mind and why they want to dump you. Now, this may be a tough video to listen to today, but as someone who's been the dumper a few times in his life, I'm hoping to give you a perspective that might actually help you find some answers today and get you through your breakup. Before I do that, it's time for the intro. Welcome back to the Love Fix. It's Nick, as always, doing my best to get you through your breakups as easily and as healthily as possible. If today's video is not enough for you, come and join the amazing Facebook group, which is really starting to gain traction now. The link's in the description. Hit the Facebook link, come and join, or you can just type in the Love Fix Breakup Recovery. Alternatively, if that is not enough and you need my help with your one-to-one situation and you just want some answers, get through your heartbreak and just start to feel better, hit the coaching link in the description or email me at thelovefix20@gmail.com and arrange your one-to-one voice coaching session with me. Right, let's get into it. So today I am playing the dumper. And, well, I'm not playing, I have been the dumper a few times, and I can say as a dumper it sucked for different reasons. It was never pleasant ending a relationship with someone that I cared about very much, and it sucks just as much being the dumpy. It just sucks for different reasons. But let's get into the mindset of the dumper, why they got to where they got to with your relationship. And as I said at the start, time plus emotion, that normally changes somebody's mindset or how they think about you. Now, a breakup is, to quote Craig Kenneth, is a symptom of a bigger problem. And this leads to a loss of emotional attraction. And once the emotional attraction has dropped, let's say below 50%, it's very hard to get that back. And look at it as an emotional bank account. If you keep taking too many withdrawals out of that bank account and not replenishing it, then guess what happens? You go into overdraft, and when that happens, that's when the dumper thinks about checking out. Now, I know from the dumper's perspective and the dumpee's perspective, there were warning signs all along. As the dumper, I asked the woman that I was asked the woman that I was dating many times, hey, what you're doing is not okay, and I'd like for you to work on this, and it makes me feel bad when you do X, Y, and Z, and or your anxiety is dominating the relationship, or your jealousy is becoming overbearing, or your possessiveness, or whatever it might be. It could be 100 reasons, and you discuss it, and normally it's okay for a week or two. But unless that person who is receiving the information really goes away and does the work on themselves, then there's only one outcome to this. And for the dumper, it's very hurtful. See, the dumper will feel a lot of the pain before the breakup because something inside them has broken, has snapped. Something in the relationship stopped working for them, and now they no longer see a path with you. They no longer see a future. And that's very hurtful because all of their plans for the future have gone up in smoke, and they go through the typical, feeling of grief and loss and anxiety and everything that comes with that. And that can make them do some stupid things like rebounding or cheating or monkey branching. Now, I've certainly rebounded myself. I'm not innocent here. I've never cheated or monkey branched. That's one thing I can say that I've never done. But I have rebounded as a dumper and I've rebounded as a dumpee, and neither one worked out very well. But the reason I rebounded as a dumper is because I was hurt. I wasn't dealing with the breakup very well because that person who I cared about left a big hole in my life. And was that the right thing to do? No, because that ended up hurting them even more when they found out, and that's on me. And it's not a good place to be. So I want you to understand, as most of you are probably dumpees that are listening to this, is that your ex didn't just wake up one day and decided that they didn't want to be with you. It took time to get to where they got to. It took a lot of you maybe violating their trust or not leveling up with them. You stayed exactly on day one of the relationship rather than evolving with them. Maybe you became incompatible. They wanted to travel, you want to have kids, and so on and so forth. Maybe the chemistry just failed. Maybe the communication was poor. But something somewhere along the line failed for them. And 9 times out of 10, guys, I would say most dumpers do give the warning signs. They try to tell you. Now, a lot of dumpers, admittedly, are bad at communicating. They can be very passive aggressive, and I've certainly done that before. Now I just communicate what I feel and what I want very openly and very effectively, and if that's not compatible, then it's time to move on. And that is sad. But most dumpers don't set out to hurt you. And this is where dumpees go wrong. They make it all about them. And this is going to be hard for you to listen to. This might be a little bit triggering. It was never about you. It was never about hurting you. It was never about abandoning you. It was never about getting revenge on you. It was about they no longer saw a future with you, and they're looking out for their best interest. Now, an argument could be made, okay, the grass is greener where you water it. Maybe they could have communicated more effectively. Maybe they got a lot of things wrong, and typically, as a dumper, I've been there, I got things wrong as well. Maybe I was listening to respond and I didn't listen to understand, and maybe that contributed to the breakups where I was the dumper. But either way, I no longer saw a viable future with that person. It became stifling. It became heavy. The weight on my shoulders was just unbearable anymore. And you start to become resentful towards that person. You don't feel safe with that person. You don't feel trust anymore. And when that goes, it's very, very difficult to have any kind of romantic love for that person. And that's the key word here, is romantic love, not physical love or love for like a family member or so on and so forth. There does have to be an element of romantic love. I'm not talking about the Disney butterfly bullshit. I'm talking about, okay, do I still want to build with this person? Do I want to build a future with this person? Has this person got my back? So I hope that's giving you some additional perspective that, you know, look, most dumpers are not bad. They're not bad for dumping you. They've gone through their pain, and trust me as well, this is typically what happens from a dumper's perspective. They go through the initial pain of realizing that this won't work anymore. They've got the build-up of anxiety of actually telling you they don't want to date you anymore, be with you romantically. They get a maybe 1 to 3 months relief out of it, and then they do start to miss you. You're a big part of their life, or were a big part of their life, and that will hit home. Trust me, I've been there. It hits home, it bites, and it hurts, and it's not pleasant. And I get dumpers come to me for coaching because they're going through breakup anxiety. They're going through breakup grief. They're going through the pain. So, okay, 70% of my clients are dumpees, but a good 30% are dumpers, and they go through it. So I know as a dumpee, you're going through it right now, and I hear you. I've been there, and I've got the t-shirt, I've got the scars, and everything else that comes with it. But if you're going to take anything away from this today, is that please know that your ex at some point went through the pain, or they will go through the pain, or they are going through the pain. The way they choose to deal with that pain, maybe they're rebounding and whatever, that's down to them. There is nothing you can do about that. They've chosen to deal with that pain in that way. And in a way, if somebody's a serial rebounder or cheater, then that's an addiction, and all addiction is using an external source to deal with that pain, to run away from it. So maybe if you view your ex as an addict, that might make things a little bit easier for you today. And that's all I've got for you today. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's been helpful. And once again, if you do need my help with your one-to-one situation, hit the coaching link in the description and you can set up your coaching session with me. If you've liked today's video, please hit like and subscribe. It would really help me out. As always, you are enough. You will be okay. And I will see you on the other side.